Dude, right when I think this machine right here has been maxed out with upgrades and getting tricked out, someone comes up with something new that blows my mind. I'm about to show you the ultimate tricked out variable speed BuckTool sanding machine. First, I have to show a really cool aesthetic and somewhat functional upgrade. This oversized control knob is a bit easier to grab and it looks super cool. Shout out to Brett for this one. Before we bolt on any new parts, let's talk about this factory setup that almost nobody is utilizing. Out of the box, reaching for your controls from an edge trailing setup can feel a little bit awkward. But if you make this quick adjustment here, you can completely change your control access. Not an aftermarket modification, but just, knowing the machine. This small change in orientation is really a big upgrade for ergonomics. All right.
I'm bringing in the heavy hitters now.
This is the Radius Platen by Razor Edge Products. If you've ever explored thinning a primary bevel on a flat platen, you already know it's no easy feat and you can ruin a blade quicker than me grabbing free paper towels from the gas station. This curved platen is kind of like thinning with training wheels. The subtle convex creates a subtle hollow grind on your blade, and it eventually kind of creates like a track and helps you stay in the right spot on the grind easier. And a little bit about the maker of this platen. His name is Ray, and he's super well known in the sharpening community. He gives amazing business advice to guys. He's always helping people with information on sharpening, like obscure blades and things we just don't run across on a day-to-day. If you've never connected with Ray, you're definitely missing out. He's a great guy. Man, you could have all the best machines and platens in the world, but they are absolutely nothing without the best abrasives. I came across these Cubitron III belts and they sparked my curiosity immediately. Cubitron II belts are already pretty much legendary in the sharpening community. So what's the exact difference between Cubitron II and Cubitron IIIs? Well, it's actually quite fascinating. So what 3M did is they took, with the Cubitron IIs, they're already what they call a precision shaped grain, which is essentially a pyramid. But the Cubitron IIIs are different because they're, how do I explain it? They're like a pyramid, but with convex edges. Cubitron III belts come in grit 36, grit 60, grit 80. There's no 120, and I think it has something to do with the difficulty of manufacturing the shape of these precision grains. I got really sick and tired of having to go overseas for all these different types of sharpening supplies that I needed to get my hands on.
And lost all his money.
And when I could find a tool that I needed here in the United States, it was super expensive. And I also noticed when it comes to belts, anytime I needed belts, it took forever for them to arrive.
Taking forever.
Takes them forever, just forever.
You can either sit back and bitch about it or you can do something about it.
Maybe the time had come to do something about it.
So we decided to do something about it. Tanya and I have started and officially opened the Get Sharp Sharpening Supply store. We did our soft launch with about 850 belts from the heavy-hitting Cubitron IIIs for super heavy stock removal, all the way up to your super fine Trizacs for that fine finishing work. We're actually reinvesting. We'll have over 2,500 belts of all varieties in stock, ready to ship with ultra-fast delivery speeds here in about 2 weeks' time. And to all of those of you who supported our store early on, Tanya and I want to personally thank you. It means so much. You have no idea. And to celebrate this official grand opening of the store, we're going to be offering 10% off for a limited time to everybody. So if you're watching this, I'll have those codes either in the description or the pinned comments or both. And I want to show how much I appreciate all of our existing or early supporters. We'll be offering you 15%. Finally, the upgrade I promised you at the start of the video. The new upgraded drive wheel for the BuckTool BS242V. If you run one of these machines, you already know the most frustrating design flaw is the factory belt clearance. If you try to run a thick leather belt or a Scotch-Brite conditioning belt, they physically do not fit in the machine. For months and months, the only solution was to take a grinder or a cutting machine and permanently chop off the metal guard. Not anymore. This new drive wheel alters the geometry enough so that you have full clearance of a Scotch-Brite or a leather belt. No cutting, no voided warranties. You drop it in, and you can run the thickest belts on the market with zero friction. We've recently already sold a handful of the wheels, and we're getting really great feedback. These are a couple posts that were made on different Facebook sharpening groups, and so far the feedback's been awesome. I want to give a massive shout out to the designer of this wheel, Ryan. Ryan isn't just some guy messing around with CAD in his garage. He's a literal design engineer at Tesla. I feel super fortunate to have met Ryan. The cool thing about knives is you got people from all walks of life who are just absolutely obsessed with them. So we get the benefit of a talented design engineer creating mods for the tools we use to work on blades. Hey, how cool is that? When you have a top tier design engineer designing your mods, you know the tolerances are going to be insane. So it is a little bit snug. It's a little difficult to get on at first. It will slide on there, but this thing, you got to check it out. To show you exactly what this new clearance unlocks, I threw a high carbon steel machete onto the machine to run on a thick 3M Scotch-Brite belt. One of the primary purposes of designing this smaller BuckTool wheel was specifically so we could run these exact belts without having to take an angle grinder to the machine's frame. I mean, just watch what happens when the belts hit the steel. The surface conditioning belt just gives you an absolutely magical and consistent finish. It strips away the rust, the grime, and just leaves this flawless, beautiful satin finish that you cannot replicate with any other belt. So when you go and grab your new wheel, make sure you throw one of these Scotch-Brite belts. I recommend the fine and ultra fine for these types of finishes. Man, this sharpening journey, this YouTube social media thing is just absolutely awesome. If you've ever talked to me on the phone or on Discord or wherever, you've heard me say it. It's connecting with people. I connected with some of the sharpest people, business-minded people, problem solvers, like Ryan, for instance. We had an issue with the guard not being able to put conditioning belts or leather belts on this machine. Boom, he comes up with the solution. Or Ray with Razor Edge products, small business owner out of Illinois. Every time we buy these products, we're helping support our own, and I absolutely love it. If you yourself are one of these like innovative problem-solving minds yourself, reach out to me. I would love to help promote, support you in any way that I can.